Hello, today I'm going to be presenting my evaluation for coaching the coaching project for Pete 7203. Looking at the overall parts of this portfolio, it consists of formative assessments. There will be three of them. There's a final summative assessment, and then we'll discuss the coaching domains. But first, in the formative assessments, the three formative assessments I'm going to be using this year will be the student athlete survey. The second one will be a practice observation by the athletic director, myself. And the third one will be a game observation by the athletic director. The final summative assessment is a rubric, and it will be completed as a self-assessment by the head coach and also completed by myself, the AD, both of which, when we meet, we'll discuss the rubric results and go over everything that we need to discuss about the season and the annual review. For the coaches, you'll be able to see this rubric at on the last slide of this PowerPoint. The coaching domains that we're going to focus on this year, you can see those listed 1 through 6, vision and goals, ethical conduct, relationships, safety, performance, and professional development. These are all aligned with the national standards for sports coaches. This was created by SHAPE America, which is the Society of Health and Physical Educators. Coaching domain number 1. The vision and goals. Behavior number 1, develop and enact an athlete-centered coaching philosophy. Behavior number 2, create a unified vision that corresponds to strategic planning and goal-setting principles and in alignment with the appropriate stages of a long-term model. Behavior number 3, align program with national, regional, and local policies. Here in the state of Tennessee, you guys know that we fall under the TSSAA standards, and also the needs of the community and individual athlete. The indicators that we'll be using to measure these are exceeds expectation, which basically means that you're always performing these behaviors, meets expectation, which means you're frequently or consistently performing behavior, or below expectation, which means you rarely or never perform the behavior. Now, if you notice, these align with our Tennessee Compass, our performance as educators. We want to try to align these with our teacher evaluation. So we're not really having to prepare a whole lot of different things to get ready for this. You guys are used to doing this in the classroom. Coaching domain number 2, ethical conduct. The three behaviors that we're going to be focusing on are abide by the code of conduct within their coaching context. Behavior number 2, model, teach, and reinforce ethical behavior with program participants. And behavior number 3, develop an ethical decision-making process based on ethical standards. One of the goals in this domain right here is obviously we want to teach these kids and we want to role model proper behavior. As coaches, one of the things that we need to really focus on, and I know sometimes officials they make mistakes, they're human beings, but we can teach these athletes a lot by the way that we act. And so that's one of the domains that we're really going to focus on. As you can see down here, the indicators are going to be the same. I don't think I need to explain those anymore. Coaching domain number 3, the relationships. Our goal is to create relationships with our athletes and with our assistant coaches. So we're going to focus on 3 specific behaviors. Number 1, acquire and utilize interpersonal and communication skills. Behavior number 2, develop competencies to work with a diverse group of individuals. And behavior number 3, demonstrate professionalism and leadership with all stakeholders. This is important, especially in the high school setting, that we develop and maintain proper relationships that will lead these students to be successful in life. Indicators will remain the same. Coaching domain number 4, safety. Safety is a big part of our sports. we have a legal obligation to make sure these students have a safe environment and that we provide proper care for them. So I'm going to be focusing on 3 behaviors in this domain. Behavior number 1, we're going to create a respectful and safe environment which is free from harassment and abuse. Harassment and bullying is something that we're not going to tolerate in our athletics here at our high school. Behavior number 2, we're going to identify and mitigate physical, psychological, and social cultural conditions that predispose athletes to injuries. That is a big requirement for coaches. And behavior number 3, we're going to reduce potential injuries by instituting safe and proper training principles and procedures. Once again, the indicators that I'll be checking these by will be the same. Coaching domain number 5, performance. Performance basically is just referring to the way that we go about our everyday job as coaches. So behavior number 1, and you'll notice that I have these divided up into planning, teaching, assessing, and adapting. Once again, these are all based off of the National Standards for Sports Coaches. So behavior number 1, the planning, we're going to create seasonal and or annual plans that incorporate developmentally appropriate progressions for instructing sports-specific skills based on best practices in motor development, biomechanics, and motor learning. Behavior number 2 is the teach. We're going to craft daily practice plans based on sound teaching and learning principles to promote athlete development. Behavior number 3 is the assessing of the athlete. We're going to implement appropriate strategies for evaluating athlete training, development, and performance. And number 4 is the adaptation. We're going to use strategic decision-making skills to make adjustments, improvements, or change course throughout a competition. Once again, the indicators used to assess these will be the same. Coaching domain number 6, professional development. It is essential that as coaches, just like teachers, that we are always trying to improve our craft. That's going to be done by several different things. That can be by going to coaching clinics, but it can also be by working with the community. So we're going to focus on 3 behaviors in this group. Behavior number 1, develop an evaluation strategy to monitor and improve staff and team performance. Behavior number 2, improve coaching effectiveness by seeking to learn the latest information on coaching through various avenues of coach development. And behavior number 3, engage in mentoring and communities of practice to promote a learning culture and continual improvement. Once again, the indicators used to assess this will be the same. You can read those at the bottom. The coaching formative assessment number 1, student athlete survey. At the conclusion of each season, student athletes will complete a survey regarding culture, coaching, expectations, responsibilities, and overall satisfaction with the program. Each student will have this opportunity. This will give us a guideline or a blueprint for how we can improve what we do. Coaching formative assessment number 2, practice evaluation by the AD. It is my expectation for my head coaches to email me their practice plans weekly. During a practice evaluation, I will be observing for sound teaching and learning principles that promote athlete development. I will also observe the rapport coaches have with the student athletes. These will be informal. You probably won't even realize I'm there. I'm just wanting to get a good feel for our coaches, our coaching staff, and our student athletes. But these are the things that I want to let you know that I will be looking for. Coaching and formative assessment number 3, game evaluation by the athletic director. These will be very similar to the practice evaluation, but what I'll be observing is the strategic decision-making skills to make adjustments, improvements, or change course throughout a competition. I will also be observing to see how the coaches model, teach, and reinforce ethical behavior within a game situation. Like I said earlier in this presentation, I know sometimes officials can really get us fired up, but what I want to see is that our coaches model and teach and reinforce that good ethical conduct that's going to create the type of learner that we want to go out into the workforce and demonstrate these ethical behaviors. The evaluation timeline, and this is important for you guys. You might want to make a mental note of this. All the sports will have a preseason where I will come in. We'll do a preseason review with the head coach. We'll have a preseason conference. I'll meet with all the head coaches over that. And then we'll have a preseason checklist. And in that checklist, we will just go through things that you might need, different things that we will need to address. We'll also have an in-season. During the in-season, we will meet bi-monthly, and this will just be between the head coach and myself, and we will discuss areas that we need to work on or things that we might need. Then 3 weeks prior to the end of the season, we will do a postseason checklist. You guys, as the head coaches, you will do those. And then prior to the postseason, I will meet with all the head coaches. The head coaches will complete a self-evaluation and one for each assistant coach. And then we will discuss those in the meeting prior to the postseason. And then the post-season assessment meeting with the AD, that's when we'll go through the rubric that you will see at the end of this presentation. We'll have a head coach evaluation form that I fill out. We'll have a head coach self-evaluation form that you fill out. You'll have one evaluation form per coach, assistant coach, and I will discuss those evaluations with the head coach. And guys, I really want you to sit down and discuss these evaluations that you have for your assistant coaches with them, okay? And then we're going to review our 3-year plan for each one of the sports. And then we're going to establish personal and program goals for the next season. This page here provides a link to the coaching evaluation rubric that I will perform on the head coaches. Let me click on it. Loads up here, and you can see these. You can look. This will be the exact same one that you will fill out on yourself. And then when we meet, we will review yours and compare yours to mine. Okay, so you can see each one of the domains. You can see, as I said before, up here the exceeds expectation, meets expectation, below expectation. We go through domain 1, vision and goals, standard 1, standard 3, standard 4. The reason those are called standard 1, 3, and 4 is because that relates directly to the national standards for the sport coaches. As a school system, we have decided to use that because it is a highly respected and very much so researched document, and we will use that throughout this school year. But as you scroll down, you can see exactly what you're going to be evaluating yourself on and exactly what I'm going to be evaluating you on. And if you have any questions, you feel free to come see me. Like I said before, I have an open door policy, so you're free to see me at any point. I hope that you all have a great season this year. I look forward to working with all of you, and good luck this season.